I think that we have to recognize that the things that we have, we need to fight for. If we want our lives to not be full of fear and not to be worrying about how we pay the next bill and whether or not our house will be safe in the next hurricane, we are going to, each one of us, have to be part of be a citizen that works as part of a global citizenship to make the world a better, safer place with higher levels of well-being. This can be done. For example, if people ask themselves, what truly makes me happy? What makes me happy that doesn't necessarily cost so much? Because one of the issues with the governance system we have is we have a lot of marketing and advertising activity telling us you're not happy unless you have X. So one thing we can all do is start to really ask ourselves, what really is our well-being and how can we make it better? And how can we maybe insulate ourselves from some of these messages that are making us feel more scared? And that includes media and TV, because a lot of that feeds that. So just taking some ownership of our own well-being is a really practical thing. But the second really practical thing is a bigger picture thing, because everyone has a role to play and government has a role to play. But citizens are the ultimate governing body. And so we need to be asking government, you're supposed to be purpose-driven. It is in your mandate that you exist to drive and not harm our well-being. Tell us, how are you doing this? And the international standard in purpose-driven organizations, which is being built at the moment, I'm project leading this, that rests on an international standard in governance of organizations, ISO 37000, is there to show everybody what this could look like. It's the world's current consensus. We need to then improve it, make it better. But everybody can start to educate themselves on purpose and their well-being and on governance, do the bits that they can do, but be really clear when actually that's not a stress that they should hold. It's a stress the government should hold. Their stress should be to get together and lobby government to act as government should be. So this is what I would say, focus on governance and focus on purpose. Doesn't matter, even if you are the baker in a shop. These are equally your things as much as they are everyone else's.
La începutul răspunsului ați folosit verbul to fight, a lupta. Ce face un om care luptă să-și depășească condiția, care luptă să trăiască mai bine, dar în același timp e împiedicat de guvern, de clasa politică sau de orice altă instituție a statului?
That's stopped by the government and politics. Yeah, well, again, this is where we have, let's put it in a shortcut way. We found cheap fossil fuels, and we have had a relatively easy ride as we've exploited our resources with cheap energy, and we've let governments, we've stopped being good citizens, I would say, generally, because we think, well, if it's not broken, it's fine. And as we use the resources, it always looks like we could be the one over there. Now we're starting to see over the cliff. Now is the time, and really it is the time. It is very urgent that we get together and say we need to regain what it is to have an active democracy. And if government isn't working, we are the only ones that can help it to work. And that requires collaborating with other citizens. One citizen cannot change a government. It is the collective that can. And what that means is also we have to stop being afraid of disagreeing with people. We have all become fragmented in these little boxes where we hang around with people that we feel comfortable with because it's fearful to have to put your identity on the line when everything is so confusing. One of the really important things about this governance frame is to say, hey guys, ultimately, we're all human beings on planet Earth with other life forms. You know, we have the same agenda here. We all want a good life. We're all entitled to it. If we believe this, if we don't, but I believe the majority of people do, then let's now talk strategy, right? But we have a frame that says, will this strategy maximize our well-being and not harm it? If not, maybe it's not the right strategy. We're not doing that now. We're saying, will this strategy make more money than that strategy? If so, we go for it. We think nothing of whether this is the innovation we need with these resources or whether this is going to create pollution. And that's the shift. We need a market economy that works for its own goals. Well, I'm not talking about creating a new market. The market economy already says that it's here for our well-being. It's a tool of the government whose mandate is our well-being. Let's just make it work, because otherwise we will end up in command and control. If we look what happened in COVID, how quickly people give their rights away when things get really tough. We are in a very fine window now where we can take what's left of our democratic systems and make them work for an economy that delivers for us, or we say goodbye to it. That's the choice. And I would like business leaders and leaders everywhere to really recognize that. This isn't stay where we are or go somewhere that seems ideological. This is grasp this nettle or we off the cliff.